Welcome back to another episode of Should I Stay or Should I Go? And today we've got a treat for you. We figured it's the holiday season. It's tough for a lot of people, but certainly if you're going through a divorce, it's doubly tough. And coming off of Thanksgiving, hopefully you survived that okay. But we thought this would be a perfect time to talk about some tips that we can give you because we've been there, we've done it before. So we have some tips for you to help you navigate this holiday season. So, Allison, why don't you tee off this first tip that we have? Because I think, when we were talking before the recording, you have just some fabulous ideas centered around this first tip that we came up with. So I'm going to pass it to you to share some of your silly stories.
Okay. Well, the first thing is you have this vision of what you have to do for Christmas. And I remember myself sitting down and trying to write out the holiday poem that went out to all of the relatives, as well as, labeling and writing and signing the hundreds of cards that I sent to everyone, because that was the tradition. Guess what? You don't have to follow all the same traditions. Because instead of being something that was exciting and fun, it was something that I sat and probably plenty of my family members had tear stains on their poem or on their card because it really was hard for me to do. So the first thing is holiday traditions, pick the ones that still make you feel good, that you feel good doing. Let the rest go, create new traditions. So one of my favorite and my kids' favorite holiday traditions when we got divorced, my kids were teenagers, and I had, for some crazy reason, decided that I would buy some silly string and stick it in their stockings. And so there were my kids in the middle of all this downer of split Christmas and nothing the same. And there was this silly string in their stockings. So when we were done with our somber event of opening gifts and reflecting on all that we had lost over the years, we went outside and my kids cut loose into this big silly string war. And fortunately, I was smart enough. I had reserved more silly string for me than I had put in their stockings. So it turned into a silly string war. And that became one of our new traditions every year. So whenever we had new people coming to our holidays, they didn't know what was happening. And they didn't know why they had silly string in their stocking. And we would wait till the gift giving was over and we'd lure them outside. They would be. And the funnest of all was when Jeff and I, our first Christmas together, we had grown children between us five. And we got together and we did the holiday stockings, and everyone was having a great time. And all the silly string. And I saw my son eyeing the silly string, eyeing the silly string. And I looked at him, I said, Michael, not in the house. And it was too late. They all went. He took the silly string. My other son took the silly string. Jeff's kids took the silly string. All over the house, we had over a dozen released cans of silly string. And now you might think this was bad, but let me tell you, the look on their faces when they looked around and saw what they had done. His kids not knowing me very well, and my kids not knowing him. He and I sat, sipping our cup of coffee, watching these fools run around the house with the broom and the dust mop, cleaning up all of the silly string.
That's
Priceless.
that's such a cute story. And what I love about it is it creates laughter. I mean, it's fun. And
Hmm.
we all need laughter, and laughter elevates our mood and elevates everything. So I love that story.
Hmm. So whatever it is, if it's not silly string, something, make a new tradition. And it may just be something that happens on its own. Don't be afraid to start new, start fresh, and make them fun.
Yes, my girls and I, we didn't do anything that silly and fun. I think I was too much of a like in my box person, at least back then. But we started going to movies on Christmas afternoon because it's like, especially when you have teenagers, they open their presents, which they don't wake up early for. There's not a whole lot of excitement because they gave you the list. They know what it is. They're grateful, they're excited, but it's not like little kids. And then all of a sudden it's, 10 o'clock in the morning, you've got the rest of the day and you're kind of like, well, now what do we do? We just sit here and look at each other. So we started going to the movies, and that was fun because I'd never really done a movie thing with my kids as sort of up and coming adults. I'd done it when they were little, and then they hit that age where they go to the movies with their friends. So this was our chance to have mother daughter time and go to the movies. But I do think that changing traditions or adding some new traditions is really a healthy thing to do. One of the
Absolutely.
other ideas that we had come up with was, if you don't have anything going on, host like a Christmas, kind of like Friendsgiving is for Thanksgiving, host a Christmas for your friends and girlfriends, family, people that don't have some other place to go. Maybe you've got some neighbors who are sort of housebound and can't travel to see their children, but just have like a invite people over. And what I think is great about that is it's not just the day of and the having people over. It's all the work that you have to do in advance will keep you busy. It will keep you active. And I think during this time of year, it's so important to be active, because if you, whether you work outside the home or you're at home, the end of the day comes and you're kind of like, okay, now what do I do? I don't have a spouse in the house anymore to talk to or argue with or whatever it may be. Maybe the kids are gone. Maybe they're busy with their activities and you're feeling kind of lost. So now this is something you can do for you and for your family that will help lighten the mood and give you something to be excited or look forward to. And then it's also good for the people that you invite.
Oh yeah, we used to do a lot of that, and we call it a friends and orphans Christmas, because sometimes we were just orphaned for the day. And there's lots of people out there that just really don't have anyone to spend that holiday with. And yeah, there's some cooking involved on your part if you do it at your house, but it's a good excuse to get decorated and all the fun stuff. And then you do a potluck, and the food would always be amazing. And I, at one point, was a part of a group of women that would do a Christmas brunch. And so everyone would do the circle and go to the houses that were offering the brunch, after the gifts and after all that stuff, then we'd go do a Christmas brunch. And that was really a beautiful, beautiful thing.
What's fun to do with those as well is to do like a progressive brunch. So you start at one house and you have one part of the meal, and then you go to another house and have another part of the meal. And you finish with maybe some champagne and some dessert pastries or something. But it's kind of fun to do it that way too. And then you're house
They
hopping.
were my friends. We started with the mimosas. I'm just getting the order correct. Okay. We didn't do
Just
much
trying to be a
driving
little
back then.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they're not starting with mimosas, we'll bring our own.
Yes. Yes. So what else? We've got to, kind of change up traditions, let go of the ones that don't work for you, make new ones, have a friends and orphans or a friends Thanksgiving or a Friendsgiving or however we're going to put it, get together with some people that will enjoy your company. What other tips do you have?
Well, I think along that line, but just a different twist to it is use this season to work on building your community, build your friend group, and you may be bringing new women into your friend group during this time because maybe you have more in common with them than some of your friends. But this is a time to pour into that and build that up, because our women friends are really vital to us, and they can help us network, they can help us find jobs, they can help us with the kids, and they can help us in so many different ways because everybody has a different skill set, a different personality that they bring to the group. I would say start working on building that and set create little appointments with them, like have coffee with one and then have wine with another, and just make all these little micro dates throughout the month That'll keep you busy. It'll keep you engaged. It'll keep you active and moving forward. And that's one of the big keys is you got to keep moving. It's a big thing when you're going through divorce is to keep moving through it. And then
That is
Allison,
so spot on.
you
I was just
had,
gonna say that's so spot on in that when you say keep moving, there's that sense of we've got to stay busy because if we ever stop, we'll never pick ourselves back up again. So leveraging that time to build your community of women is just a great call out.
yeah, I know how important it is. And I just think that, this is a downtime for a lot of people. Down as in they're blue, but also down as in their business is slow, their job is slow, their kids' activities are slow. Everything kind of slows down because Christmas speeds up. So use the hopefully spare time to your advantage. And then I know we were doing 3 tips, but you came up with like a little bonus one, Allison. I'll let you always have such fun and great ideas. So I'm going to let you share this last one because I think it's like the best one.
It is all about the fun, and if you've ever been like I was, all of a sudden alone on Christmas Day by yourself, you gotta have a present under the tree. So I give anyone listening to this and anyone you choose to share it with permission, go buy yourself a gift. One of the things I used to love to do is doing the stockings, when filling the stockings for everybody and you're buying all these things and stuffing these stockings. You'd go to get ready to stuff the stockings and see things that you had bought and totally forgot about. Do it for yourself. Take your stocking over the course of 2, 3 months before the holidays, if you have the time, and if not, start now and who cares. Buy little things that you love, that you would like, and fill your own stocking. And buy yourself a gift and wrap it. Put a big bow on it because you deserve it. And guess what? The bonus in these gifts is you're going to love them and they're going to fit. So treat yourself, buy yourself a gift, and fill your own dang stocking.
So keyword there that really caught my attention, fill your own stocking. I think we look so often in life for others to fill us up. Why? Why do we do that? So fill yourself up, fill your stocking, put your own presents in there. I think it's just a great idea. I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull out my stocking in years. I always had the kids' stockings and the grandkids' stockings. Go get me a stocking this year. Might be the only one that gets hung. But we all deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great tip, Allison. Well, with that, we are wrapping up December. So we hope you found these tips helpful to you. I hope they make a meaningful difference in your holiday season. And I think it's going to be 2023 when we see you again. But if you have any friends, anyone that could gain some value from our podcast, please be sure to share this with them. Hit the subscribe link, share it out, and always we love your comments and your feedback. So please let us hear from you. And with that, Allison, any parting messages from you for the year?
Just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Cut yourself some slack over the next few weeks. Show yourself some grace, and just know that it's all going to be okay.
And with that, Merry Christmas, and we are signing off for 2022.